Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Game 2 between RedBirdGrad and Ellendar. Ellendar taking Game 1 with a very close race. I think RedBirdGrad had a 9-minute lead going into 9, and Ellendar was able to come on in and steal the game, so to speak, but both played excellently, so I expect the same here. We have a forced Ganon tonight, so definitely going to need that bow and silvers. My name is Homer J. Smash, and we will be getting started here any minute now. If this is your first race to watch in this tournament, the basic premise is that most of the flags are set to 50-50. So we don't know what to expect. We'll have to figure it out as the runners go. We're going to start on the Armo screen with a letter and some meat. And a whole bunch of Triforces. Definitely 1 and definitely 6. And maybe 4, possibly 5, maybe 8, maybe 7. We'll have to figure that out once we know what sort of dungeon quest we're dealing with here. And Ellendar is having a lot of trouble with these Armos this year. Kind of a trolley starting 2 items, but bomb prices sure are nice. Love me some cheap bombs. And Redbird is going to scroll over here and gets a large secret of 128. Holy moly, that is nice. We know we're definitely not in second quest overworld. Could still be mixed or first quest. We have to get more information. And we see meat and blue ring over there on Ellendar's side. Let's see if Redbird can get past these Tektites. Nice dodging there. He's going to reset the blue Lionel. Ellendar's checking in the letter cave up here. And they both find a potion shop. And they're both setting off those Armos. I do the exact same thing. Every time I'm on a screen with Armos, it seems like I can't get out of the way. Redbird's going to buy a whole bunch of bombs, I'm going to guess. Double pack here. Why not? Ellendar finds a medium secret 34, so money is going to be pretty good in this one. We do not have free candles. Redbird finds a take any there at the Armos in the forest. And Ellendar found a potion shop, so I think we have blank hints. Okay, so earlier they found a hint, I believe, for White Sword or Mags, or a door repair. Wasn't actually a potion shop. Ah, there we go. Okay, that is the door repair. It's the old man. Ellendar gets another large secret on the coast, so we are in first quest overworld or first quest mixed. And Ellendar's going to buy his bombs with his bunch of cash that he just got. Kind of both sticking around this Lost Hills area. It's going to be interesting to see if they who's the first one that goes over to the Woodsword Cave. And Redbird's going to check out this desert shop here. And we got 39 for our blue potion, and I think it was 86 for the red. So good information to have. We have blank hints, so there's really no point in saving that letter, because a lot of times, at least for me, I don't like to show the letter to the potion shop merchant, because if it's a long text string, it takes a long time to get it going. But with blank hints, you know, there's no really any harm. It's going to be just as quick. And we do have to find a candle. So now Redbird's first one with a candle. That is a candle and an arrow shot. And RBG is going to be the first one to the sword screen, and it is the wood sword. Ellendar won't be too far behind. Looks like that's the direction he's heading as well. See if he stops in the candle shop. Expect him to buy his candle as well. So kind of just like game one, they followed each other's footsteps for the first part of that game. They're doing the exact same thing here. And there's the candle purchase for Ellendar. And it's hard to tell right now. So far, everything that we've killed has been pretty easy. Redbird finds another medium secret. And all of those enemies definitely went down in one hit. Finds another heart to take any, so he's got 5 hearts already. Let's see if Ellendar follows his path or if he heads over to the Dead Woods. He's going to go buy some arrows, perhaps. Ellendar finds level 3. That's a really good find early. And we have 10 for our small secret tonight. And it does look like we have 0 HP enemies. Gets a key, and Redbird finds a potion shop. There we go, potential item here. Gotta be careful with these dark nuts. Gonna use bomb strats for them. There you go. Alright, gets a compass for his troubles. Let's see what's in the stair. Oh, we have a raft. Okay, so potentially we have vanilla items. This looks like first quest 3.
I think it's level 7.
It's always level 7, right? Well, what's RBG doing in here in that case?
Oh, he's just confused. Don't worry about him.
And joining me in the booth here is Fury SK. Thanks for hopping along. Didn't have anything better to do with your evening, I guess?
I mean, if my 11 deaths are going to get called out on his file names, I might as well jump in the booth and make fun of him. Why not?
I like it. I also like Ellendar immediately using his raft. I like to, as soon as I get an item, I like to make use of it if I can. I expect RBG to get his Triforce and get out. I'll be curious to see if he sees anything else. I guess not. Not sure if Heart Shuffle is on at this point, but looks like at least 1 through 6 are first quest. So the one thing we're not sure about is 7, 8, and 9. So they potentially have the Triforce at 8. We don't know yet.
Looks like it's going to be first quest level 9, so first are shapes.
Yep. Do have the level 9 spotting there, so that's nice. Okay, so then they have level 7. So the tracker is correct as it stands now. That's what they're dealing with. So 2, 5, and 8. Plus we need to find a bow, so a trip into 1. And then potentially it's game on, depending on the block.
I would assume if both find 4, both will dig 4, though, given what they have found so far.
Yeah. Ladder, not necessarily required, but seems to be usually required.
Yeah, if you want to take a gamble on it being vanilla items based off the first one you've seen, then level 4 being small enough with a ladder, might as well go ahead and make sure that that flag is definitively on or off.
So now, do you feel differently going into a game 2 if you're in the lead versus if you're behind, or do you just kind of play your game regardless? As Ellendar finds level 7 here, trying to decide if he's going to dig it. Looks like he's going to leave. I think that's a good choice.
It's a dangerous game to play, that's for sure. It's a question of whether or not you want to put yourself in a position where you can definitively end by getting bow and silvers and all that kind of set up for the potential for GAN to be required. I think you make that gamble more often if you're in the lead than when you're behind. But I still think you play how you got yourself here.
Yeah, I definitely I try really hard not to meta too many decisions and just kind of play my race however I like to play it. Even if I normally I like to gamble perhaps, and so if I'm playing somebody that I think is just going to full clear or something, you know, that might make me more likely to dig out another item. We find another medium secret. My goodness, lots of money.
I'm a little bit more tempted to make a meta decision based on how late the game is going on, I guess maybe level 1 or 2 if they're vanilla first quest, given how easy they are to get items out of. If my opponent has seen them at all and they're in an easy spot to get to, then surely that person would finish ahead of me. So that's about the only meta I'm willing to make, usually.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ellendar finds level 6 here in the Deadwoods and is also not going to dig that. Cannot say that I blame.
Yeah, we don't know if it's vanilla dungeons, but you certainly don't want to go get the wand or the red candle if those happen to be vanilla location, given that you're at 0 HP regular enemies at the minimum.
Yeah, exactly. The wand's not really much of an upgrade. I mean, maybe against a Gliok or some other boss that, you know, we haven't seen bosses yet, so who knows what the HP is on them, but it's not going to help you against Ganon, and it's not going to help you against any of these other enemies, other than being a ranged weapon. Ellendar finds 2. Now, this is definitely a dungeon he wants to... And an immediate Triforce. And that's all. That's probably all he needs in there, if this is Magic Boomerang. I know you are a fan of Magic Boomerang, but I can't believe that you'd spend a whole ton of time trying to dig it out. Maybe a rumor.
In this case, on one item knowledge, I think maybe I would have looked around just a little bit just to confirm that that was what was there, and then of course I would pick that up at that point. But
yeah, right.
I think it's more of a question of, do you believe what the game is telling you story-wise with just one item, or do you want to go for some more information?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I personally, I like to make the more gambling choice, I suppose, and some 50, and I've seen a little bit of proof for it. You know, if the Triforce wasn't one room in, it'd be tempting to leave. We also potentially have, you know, well, no, we know we don't have items in their room since the Triforce wasn't in the Triforce room.
It would also be a little bit different if I wasn't on one key, which is what Ellendar is currently on. And additionally, if enemies actually rolled HP and the combat was difficult, that would also make for some different decision making from me. But I really think in this setup, you probably are okay with spending an extra minute or 2 in level 2 if you so desire, or you could just kind of go for 4 and make a small meta decision.
Yeah, I think both had a fine decision. It looked like RBG was digging it until he found that mugger, and then didn't want to pay the heart of the bomb, which I completely understand. And I think that Ellendar, you know, kind of playing in the lead, he's got a 1-game lead, so in some ways doesn't really have anything to lose tonight. So I don't really mind his quick decision. I'll probably get that bomb if I were him. Yeah. RBG finds the power bracelet, which doesn't confirm my suspicions, but definitely helps to support the idea that we're dealing with vanilla. And Ellendar also has his power bracelet. He came through there earlier. Looks like RBG is going to be checking the forgotten spot. And Ellendar's clearing out this Death Mountain. So far, not really a whole lot to show for it. I couldn't tell if he actually pushed that power bracelet spot. Looks like we have white sword and mags not on the table tonight. We have bomb upgrades.
Yeah, but that puts you in a further mode of looking at items as vanilla, even though overworld items tend to be a little bit more likely to stay vanilla. It's just one more indication that way.
Yeah, for sure. White sword being the white sword, bombs is just kind of furthering that idea. I mean, eventually we'll dig some more dungeons and we'll see some items, and that'll kind of help confirm or deny. Here we go, level 1. This is a perfect find. It's exactly what we wanted.
And that was a Harkitator he just got.
Indeed was a heart.
Lighthearted by, so that's just the floor drop so far.
Yep, 1 floor heart for sure. Ellendar, I think he picked up the letter. Yeah, he found the letter and wanted to make sure he definitely had the letter, so he picked it up again. And Redbird gets his compass. Not that it matters. Okay. We're gonna need a ladder, so we're definitely digging for. Assuming that vanilla items are on, unless we find a ladder somewhere else. Speaking of 4, Ellendar is in 4. So that was the vanilla level 8 spot. And I just, it's just now occurring to me that since he went into that cave, which is picking up his ladder right now. So that's great for Ellendar. He's going to be able to do one on his first dig. We are definitely in first quest overworld, is what I was trying to get to.
Yep, and now you almost certainly are going to go to level 1 and dig it, even though you have the Triforce if you are Ellendar, given that our Remorse is Force Ganon, and now you've seen 2 items in dungeons that are vanilla.
Oh yeah, for sure. Redbird finds level 5 here on the coast. So this will further confirm once we find the recorder and the stair. Depending on level 8, this is shaping up to be a very quick siege. And then obviously level 9.
Certainly does feel like Ellendar, having found the ladder at least a couple minutes ahead of RBG, is going to have the initial advantage into 9, but I don't think any lead more than maybe a minute or 2 into 9 is going to feel that safe, given that you are going to have to dig silvers out, and they are almost certainly going to be there based on what we've seen thus far.
Yeah, for sure. There's only been a couple of races I've seen the whole tournament that haven't had silvers forced into 9. And so if you're Ellendar, there's no way you're leaving here without the bow or seeing the item that's in the staircase. RBG's heading up to the coast shop here. We'll get a peek at the, what I'm assuming is the coast heart. I believe Ellendar saw this earlier. And he's going to check the raft spot up here as well. I like this play. This is kind of a bummer spot to get to. It's usually, when I find routing this raft spot in kind of cumbersome, kind of no matter where you are. It's also nice, you know, blank hints are obviously not helpful, but it's nice because they're fast. Oh, and we have gels dropping hearts and rupees. I hadn't noticed the drop shuffle being on, enemy drop shuffle, so that's cool. I think they had that flag in their first race as well. It's always fun.
Yep, thankfully it's a single rupee bomb purchase, and they seem to be plentiful all over the place, so even if you can't quite get the enemies sorted out, you always have a fallback option.
Oh yeah, for sure. 1 rupee bombs, like free bombs all seed, unless it's the rare shop. But like you said, they've been plentiful across Hyrule today. They're both maxed out on rupees, or they were. Ellendar is having a little bit of difficulty finding the staircase item. Interestingly, it's still clearing rooms. I guess looking for keys. Maybe he wants a wooden boomerang. Bosses are not 0 HP. And there's the wooden boomerang. So he's got that. For me personally, I think I'm going to kind of be blitzing through these rooms until I see a staircase room. And just try to get free keys on the floor. Here we go. He's finally found the staircase room. As RBG is about to get his ladder. So we're going to be mostly tied up. RBG knowing where one is, it'll be a quick jaunt for him to get into there. So he's picking up his ladder now. Ellendar is going to save and head back to start. So that's a bit unfortunate for Ellendar that he did not hit the south coast. I wonder if he's going to buy a blue ring. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. Okay, well, so it's going to help him a little bit with combat. You know, he even though the enemies are 0 HP, they still do damage. So that'll probably make him feel a lot more confident and kind of comfortable dealing with his combat. I was saying that's unfortunate for Ellendar that he up-A'd there because he wants to hit the south coast to get to 5, and he was potentially on a path to get there if he had stayed in the forest. Now, potentially he's going to head up to the Death Mountain region, which would, unless 9 is up there, or 8, would be a bit unfortunate.
Yep, it's a small obstacle, but I'm sure that Ellendar hasn't marked it as search, so I would think at some point pretty soon, likely to get back there. Just question of will it be 30 seconds from now or 7 or 8 minutes?
And luckily he up-A'd, so he's heading back to the forest, gonna burn some more bushes, and then hopefully for his sake, he continues that down the south path. Certainly looks like that's where he's going now. And RBG's about to get his bow. So we will be all tied up on Triforces and items. Ellendar's about to find 5. RBG came in here and left pretty quickly. I don't remember if it was a ladder block or a key issue for him. Ellendar's going to pop open this key door here, check this bomb cave. There you go. And so both of our runners are going to be in 5 momentarily.
Yeah, despite the order that Ellendar went in, he really does not have much of an advantage at all over Red. In fact, you basically call him neck and neck at this point because of his decision to try and find, I guess, a couple more keys since he's so limited in how many keys he has in his inventory right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think RBG just went into 1 looking for a staircase item only and wasn't clearing rooms. And there we go, find the recorder in 5. Ellendar will be there shortly. And the recorder is an interesting item with this flag set. That could take us right to 8 when they get out of this dungeon. And I'm sure he is very happy that this is a 0 HP enemy set with this room. I know I personally hate taking on a room full of blue dark nuts. RBG is going to have to spend a key here. So far, this has been a pretty key necessary seed. I don't remember if they've seen a key shop, but with the way that the bomb prices are, and how much money they've had, I would definitely be buying some keys. Redbird finds another bomb upgrade, so that was +4 since he already found the white sword bombs. This Triforce is a little harder to find than the 1 and 2. But 0 HP enemies, this is really quick to clear all the rooms. Here we go. Here's our Triforce. Just had to kill some Gibdos for it. Ellendar's filling up on health. Gonna fill up on bombs. See if he follows the exact same path that RBG did. It kind of forced you in this direction, it seemed like. RBG immediately whistles, and it takes us to unbeaten vanilla dungeons. So that, unfortunately... well, yeah, it would have to be, because that was level 4, not level 2. Yeah, unbeaten vanilla. So they're gonna have to dig it out.
Yeah, that flute's basically worthless at this point. It's a matter of like 4 screens of walking is all it gets you.
Yeah, yeah, and only until you're finished with with getting the Triforce out of 8. Yeah, that's good for dig doggers, and I suppose it opens up the 1 cave in the Deadwood. Ellendar also going to be doing whistling. He's going to find out the bad news. So this is interesting. Ellendar already cleared out all of Death Mountain, and we know that it wasn't much of anything. So he's going to have a little bit of a lead on RBG if he's able to snuff out level 8, either in the Deadwoods or I guess there might be a couple places like Candle Row. I think RBG already hit Candle Row. It's looking like the Deadwoods is going to be the area tonight.
To be fair, I believe, I could be wrong, that Ellendar hit all of Western Death Mountain, but I don't know that he's seen Eastern Death Mountain or the lake spots above Vanilla 1.
Yeah, I think you're right. East Death Mountain hasn't been hit, and I think all the burn bushes in the Deadwoods have been hit, so it's just Recorder Lake, actually. I think they checked everything else. We saw both raft spots already, and the power bracelet spots were vanilla. So yeah, we're down to, and we found 9. 9 was in the potion shop close to start. So we're narrowing down the number of caves that it could be. East Death Mountain is probably a better play just because there's more caves there than 1 cave in woods. And the path that Ellendar is taking now, it'll make sense for him to head up in that direction. Redbird does buy a key, which I think is a very, very smart choice. See if he buys another one. I would be tempted myself. At this point, I suppose you might want some money for a potion, but bombs are so cheap. I guess you could potentially need arrows as well. So.
Yeah, I think he's probably holding on mostly for arrows because you have level 8 in front of you, and then we don't 100% know what the boss situation is in the boss group for level 9. So going in there without money to actually be able to purchase arrows somewhere might put you in a situation where you have to go out and farm money or look for another.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I know one of them bought, as we find level 8 on Death Mountain here. I think Ellendar is the one that bought arrows early on in the sea.
Yeah, I'd have to wait for him to cycle his inventory. I know he spent all of his money on the blue ring. I didn't know how much he had before that.
Beefy Manhandler. And it looks like Ellendar had this one spot over here that he didn't check, but he will be joining Redbird in 8 very shortly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ellendar found like a couple large secrets almost right away, and was able to get a candle and arrows because they're in the same shop. As he's going to open up the cave for level 8 here. Bosses not being 0 HP is interesting. Ellendar going straight up, so that's just going to help him out because we saw on Redbird's side that there was nothing over on that bottom row that he needed to hit. But me personally, I don't like to leave rooms behind, So I kind of like to clear as I go. But this is going to be good. It's going to give him another key. This Redbird is... They're basically in the same room here, 29 minutes into the seed. So I would be tempted to get an any key. Looks like Redbird's going to be pushing these blocks here. This is the transport staircase. Book. Oh, there's the meat. So Ellendar can get that out of his inventory. No need for that anymore. He's only sitting at 1 bomb, though, to Redbird's 12. Does find a potential staircase. That's just a red herring. And he's not trying to kill this Goma. So I guess I could be wrong. Maybe Redbird's the one that bought arrows. I know one of them did.
We've seen Ellendar cycle through his inventory a couple times now. So
yeah, okay. You're right. Yeah, no arrows. Okay. Maybe maybe I made it up.
Yeah, neither one apparently has arrows. I mean, it's not going to matter unless that Goma room happens to be the answer. Any of the potential Goma rooms in here are the answer.
Yeah, right. I mean, they both can afford arrows too, so that's not even that big of a deal either. I'll have to go back and check the VOD on that one, because I could have sworn that I saw somebody buy arrows unless they retried. I know RBG did some retrying at the beginning part of the game, but no matter.
If only exclamation point memory worked in SpeedGaming 2, but unfortunately only in certain
Yeah, that would be nice. And Redbird finds the any key, so that's definitely something he'll pick up. 3 keys are nice, but all the keys are much better. Now we just need a Triforce. And Ellendar's following him to the any key. So key's no longer an issue. Ellendar's back up to 10 bombs, so both of their inventories are looking pretty nice and filled at this point. It looks like somebody in chat is confirming my suspicion that I was wrong about who it was, but RBG apparently definitely bought arrows. Although the username does not make me feel too confident in our collective ability. There's RBG's Triforce.
Yeah,
So
well,
Redbird's got a little bit of a lead here.
we're certainly going to figure out at some point here whether or not he has arrows, but for now it's just going to be, I think, probably an up and A here. Otherwise you have a little bit of a walk. I guess it's a walk either way.
Yeah, I mean, they're right next to the power bracelet spot, so they could have up 8 and taken that. Ellendar has his Triforce out of 8, so RBG's got about a 45-second lead here.
This lead is 100% not safe.
I totally agree. 100% agree. I mean, last time he had a 9-minute lead that level 9 squandered away, so I feel like no lead in 9 is safe, personally, but both of these people are, you know, a good enough caliber that it's anybody's race. And 9 is 9. You know you're going to need to find silvers and Ganon and a princess, so not just one thing you're looking for. RBG enters 9 about 33:20, finds an immediate staircase. We have our first Wizrobes of the day. This is where RBG's got more hearts, but Ellendar has the better jewelry. As we find, never mind.
Yeah, you spoke just a bit sooner.
Yep, Redbird has upgraded the jewelry. I think Ellendar will probably find that too, because that was pretty immediate. Assuming that he goes into this staircase, which I can't imagine him not doing. And you'll pick that up, even though you have the blue ring.
Yeah, you have almost no chance of ever missing this, given that you need silvers and you're hoping that they're in a staircase rather immediately.
Yeah.
If
I think the only time... Sorry, go ahead.
If bosses were 0 HP, which they're not, that's about the only time I would consider it, just because Ganon, even if he's not 0 HP with a blue ring, is not super hard to pull off. But yeah, it's just 8 seconds or 10 seconds or 12 seconds, whatever it is. It shouldn't impact the result.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say the only time that I think I've passed on a red ring, I was so far behind that I figured that any second I wasted, I was going to lose. Ellendar is he's going to explore this blue landmola room that RBG already saw. RBG's taking stairs, so we'll see more ends of the staircase that way. It's probably a smart call when you're looking for arrows. Find another transport. Personally, I like to stay on my path that I'm taking, so especially if I have an any key. So I don't take staircases usually, unless I've hit a dead end of some sort, or I'm trying to conserve keys.
By the way, I believe that was Aurora in that shoot room, so that's a bit of shenanigans.
Yeah, I always love a hard to find Ganon. Both of them doing okay so far with bombs. That was another big thing in the last race. RBG kept running out of bombs. With his upgrades, he's got more in his potential inventory than Ellendar does, but Ellendar's doing a good job now. Both of them are sitting pretty nicely as far as bombs go. There we have a princess.
Yep, so I think they both got Zelda's location at this point. I think it's just going to come down to silvers.
Yeah, it seems like Ellendar was kind of following in RBG's footsteps there for a little bit, taking the same stairs. So then he would have hopefully heard the roar in that room, so now he'll know where Ganon is.
Yep, I'm fairly certain at this point it's both runners looking for maybe the direct route to Ganon, and then silvers, and then that's it. So who can find the silver arrows first? That's all it comes down to.
Possible staircase here for RBG. Just has to take down these Lamola. Ellendar's exploring a different part of 9. I don't think RBG has seen. We have another transport. And Ellendar gets some more bombs. That's good. He was getting a little bit low. And they've managed to find similar places, but they're that's kind of interesting. We were in one room where we could see that there was no way that the bomb was going to work on Ellendar's side. Ellendar finds his compass, so even though he already knew where she was, now he's got a visual cue. It's definitely helpful when you know exactly what the dungeon map is. So Ellendar finds another staircase. I'm not sure that RBG has been in this one. Just another transport. Let's see where this pops us. This pops us out on the right-hand side there. Okay, a couple of rooms we haven't seen.
Yeah,
looks like he's gonna go back.
I would be prioritizing the bottom of the dungeon at this point. Just my personal feeling on this, and it has no real merit whatsoever. But usually, I like to try and get to the other side of the dungeon to look for my silvers away from Ganon and Zelda, because it just seems like the game likes to troll.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we all kind of have our different like superstitions or kind of hunches about 9. For me personally, I like to see the door to Ganon. So I'll try to find a path to Zelda or the path to Ganon if I don't have the exact route, and then hopefully I can find the silvers along the way. And Ellendar is still clearing a lot of rooms here. It's helping him with bomb drops for sure. Me personally, I would be skipping all of these rooms and only focusing on the stairs. Here we go. We have another transport staircase. Goodness, I think we found most of them between the two runners.
Yeah, if you want my other meta game, it's the fact that they really couldn't go left at start. That's always a bit of a concern with Randomizer 9, that you can't go directly left at start. Usually that means it's like a right-hand staircase where the game's just really messing with.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of my telltale things I like to look for too. I feel like if I can't go up, then that's where Zelda is, even though it just seems like it. That's something that I look for.
Looks like we're high five.
And yeah, we're in the same room 40 minutes in. Ellendar's pushing 2 Q staircases, so that's something that we're not going to have with First Quest dungeons completely. That's something that you can avoid. We found Ganon.
Yeah, I think it's technically... I think the flag is 50-50, so I think technically speaking, you may run into a circumstance where that flag ticks on, but it won't be because of second quest dungeons in this case. It would just have to be that flag alone.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression that when you selected First Quest as the dungeon quest, that flag was grayed out, that one and Second Quest doors, but I could definitely be mistaken.
I think it's definitely grayed out for Dungeon Quest set. I don't know what happens in random anymore because I kind of assumed that it would set up mix to always have a Second Quest enemy if you had Second Quest involved at all, but clearly in several seeds that we've played so far in this tournament, the Second Quest enemy, like the Stalfos, have had half the dungeon be Second Quest and not fired swords, so I tend to not believe anything. I kind of fall into Ellendar's boat here, where I would still kind of push things just until I'm absolutely certain that's not going to be one of those.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. I'm pretty cynical myself, so I do a lot of things like that too. Especially with like walk through walls. If I know, like, here we go, another potential staircase here for Ellendar. I get made fun of. I think Thurl was making fun of me the last time I called a race with him because I told him, I'm like, I'll even push walls in 1, 3, and 7, even though I know that they can't have any push blocks. But I just don't like to. That one time that the randomizer glitched out on me, even though that's never happened.
We're getting a lot of coverage though, so this is really an interesting Silver's location for this seed because it's definitely not somewhere easy to get to. Otherwise, somebody would have already found it with the two of them going through this dungeon so much. We found a bomb wall, but it's just another key. I think we saw that on Ellendar's site earlier.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and when RBG up Aid, we saw his map. He had a lot of the middle. There was like a middle chunk that he hadn't done much in.
Yeah, I think it's almost gotta be like north of Zelda by a room or something.
Let's see if you had to bomb through Ganon. It's not this room. Bombs are at plenty though in this 9. That has not been a problem. Ellendar again is clearing rooms that I don't really understand what he hopes to gain from this room.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting that he cleared that specific room, unless he's trying to set up bomb counts, so he's just constantly getting bombs. I think that's really the only reason that you would want to clear that room. But it was also a bubble room next to Zelda in that specific case, I suppose. So maybe he didn't want to fight that room when he's running back at the end if he's winning.
Could be. This, I'm not sure that we've seen this room on Ellendar's side.
Oh, we haven't seen this
never
room on
mind.
RBG side either.
RBG with the lead, 44-27.
And that was the troll staircase that RG found earlier that Ellendar just found now. So I think Ellendar has to go like 2-ish rooms to the right.
Yeah, it's in that A. That A column.
So if he can bomb right, then that would put him on the path, or if he can just go right and down.
And
Let's see what we got for Ganon.
Yeah. Looks like RBG is definitely in the lead. 0 HP. Soft Ganon.
Rather lame.
Yeah. That's another one that, I mean, it's 50-50 chance, so that seems like that's been the majority of the races I've seen.
Oh,
So this one, unfortunately, is probably for Ellendar, is a little bit too late at this point. Redbird just has to take a stare to Zelda, and he's on his way.
It looks like he's heading straight to this diamond staircase, so probably has this full map of 9 figured out at this point, given how hard those silvers were for both runners to find. So, GG.
Yep, absolutely. Get your GGs out in chat for RedBirdGrad. With an official SRL time of 45:56, he forces game 3. And joining us in the booth is our winner, RedBirdGrad. Congratulations, GG.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
So talk us through another, kind of another Trolley 9. What were your thoughts for navigating this one?
Do we have to start with 9? Because the rest of the scene went really, really well.
Sure, yeah.
9 was brutal. You didn't have to bomb through Ganon there to get to the silvers. There was another way, but I pushed a block really early in 9, probably a third of my way through it. I pushed a block and saw a door spring south and didn't take that door. And about 15 minutes later, that was the door to the silvers.
Yep, I think Ellendar's got all of about 5 rooms left in this 9 himself, so it was a double troll for sure.
Yeah, it was not a fun one. I left three rooms on the map.
Yeah, he's on the path now. Yeah, so like you said, you guys, you had a pretty good go of it. Vanilla items, you were able to find 1. You see the immediate ladder block. You're like, oh no, but then, okay, here we go. Here's 4 with the ladder. So Ellendar's bombing his silvers currently.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the wrapped in 3, I already laid out what I wanted to get, because I didn't want to put any blocks between me and the silvers, so I knew I wanted to dip into 4, even though we already had the Triforce to get the ladder anyway. I just happened to find 1 and 5 before 4, so they were frustrating blocks, but I was planning on getting that ladder anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of what we were speculating too, about where you guys would go. And then the recorder was a good find, but then unfortunately it just took you to vanilla level 8.
Yeah.
Not very helpful.
It wasn't, I mean, it was kind of like, okay, whatever. It was like level 5 was the last of my bottom right of Hyrule to do anyway. So wherever that recorder took me, it wasn't going to take me like way off course. So it didn't really matter. I bought keys after that for 8 to make sure I was not key blocked to the any key in 8, because I plan on getting that too.
Yeah, you guys had a similar path. He was able to do 1 on his first dig because he found 4 first.
Sure.
So he dug the ladder out of 4. But otherwise, I mean, you guys were in 1 at the same time. I think you might even have gotten the bow before he did. He was clearing rooms all through 1, where it seemed like you were kind of on a mission to find a staircase.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be the staircase item. I don't know if exactly, I have to ask somebody, but I don't know if that's specifically how it works when it's vanilla items, if it can be the boomerang down there, or if it has to be the bow, but I was planning on it being the bow until it told me it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, why clear rooms if you have a 50-50 shot at worst of it being the bow down there?
Yeah, completely agree. As Ellendar is taking down the pig. No problem at all. He knows where Zelda is, so he will be done here shortly. No, I completely agree. I think that was probably the biggest difference, even in this 9. You had I would say, a 45-second lead going into 9. And you both cleared a decent amount of this. I think Ellendar... I think when I saw his HUD map, I think maybe he had one room other than Zelda's room that he hadn't been in when he found silvers. Wow. So, you know, it was pretty tight. It was definitely pretty close.
Hold on, I'm talking to Ellendar in RST right now about how bad that 9 was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it felt like one of those seeds. Ellendar is very, very good, of course, and beat the pants off me in the first race. And you could tell that a seed like this, you couldn't stop for anything. Like the first person I think that's going to flinch in one of these seeds is going to lose. So if you're just digging a couple extra rooms or whatnot, the path is pretty similar. As soon as you see it's vanilla items and 0 HP enemies, it's just go, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys started with what I think you needed 3 or 4 Triforces to get. So, and you didn't have to do 7. You didn't have to do 6.
I was mad it took me 30 or 45 seconds to figure out which Triforces they were on the map. I got paused and I'm like, oh man, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes the way they laid out, it could be confusing about like, okay, is that the middle up or is that the middle down? What's going on?
Yeah, I was happy though that we had dollar bombs and keys right by start, and then we had an money making game there too. So like, no matter what we needed in the seed resource wise, it was going to be there for us.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely, and then the money was just like crazy in the seed too.
Yeah, for sure.
We are joined now by Ellendar. GG, sir.
GG. That was a fun night as usual.
It always is, right? Yeah, it was definitely another trolly 9. You guys seem to, you guys are 2 for 2 on your good 9.
Yeah, that room with the silvers wasn't even like, you know, magic staircase or a really complicated path. It was basically just in the middle of the map, had 2 different ways in. If you had known where that room was, it'd take 15 minutes off the seat at least.
Oh, for sure. It's funny because both of our seeds, the silvers were south, when like the rest of 9 was like leading you away from it. That door south to the silvers that popped open when you pushed that block, you didn't want to go that way. Just in the exploration, I didn't, at least. I don't know if you.
It was the last room I checked.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It didn't make sense to go south there.
Yeah, I had checked all along the edges and hadn't actually explored the center too much. I like, you know, if I'm trying to full clear, I like to go from the outside in, you know, if I can, if the path is convenient. So it's just sort of taking what I could, full checking every room, not orphaning anything. And it just turned out that the middle was the last place I checked.
Yeah, I did pretty much similar. I threw it up there. I don't know if you guys still have a live feed, but I threw my map up to it. I did the outsides and took every stairway I could and took that 5 stairway you were talking about, which led to nothing in the northeast, and did a lot of nothing in 9 for a long time.
Other than that, it's kind of seed ever.
I know, right? Dollar bombs, 0 HP enemies.
The only thing that sucked was the flute. The flute was garbage. I was really hoping it would take me to 8.
Yeah, same here, for sure.
I mean, it took me to 8, but wrong 8.
Mm-hmm.
I was just hoping RBG would die 10 more times to make me feel better.
Fury, I'm not like you, man. If I'm dying 11 times, Fury, there's something wrong with me. Come on.
To be fair, the 2 seeds were drastically different in terms of their combat requirements.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
so I guess
Ellendar,
the
you got the.
big question now, I think, really is what in the world are we going to see for Game 3 as far as Remorse and then the actual seed itself? How truly.
I mean, as far as remorse flags, I think we're gonna run it back. I really like these canon required seeds, so
Awesome.
And then as far as how trolly is it going to be, I mean, they're all trolly, except for the one I lost in 16 minutes.
They're all trolly. It's rando %. Who cares? Having fun.
Well, it was definitely an interesting match to see. I'm sure we're all excited for Game 3. I think with these series, it's always fun whenever you can force Game 3. A winner-take-all type of match is something that everybody always looks forward to.
Yeah, it should be a fun one.
For sure, definitely.
And with that, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Make sure you guys give your runners a follow here. RedBirdGrad and Ellendar, both two very accomplished runners, put up a good fight tonight, and we'll be curious to see what they do the rest of the way. I'd like to thank Fury SK for joining me here in the booth, and thanks to SpeedGame 2 for contributing to our tournament. We have a lot of races on the dock for the rest of this week, so if you like what you see here, make sure you join us the rest of the week on our SpeedGaming networks, also on Randomania. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful night out there. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.